So I noticed a lot of people are actually going for Day-1 CPT, especially at the University of Cumberland. And I was wondering, is that actually a good decision to do, or what is your opinion on that?
See, the reason why these students go for this Day-1 CPT, and I'm sure that some of you guys know it already, it's not because that it's a decision that they have in their hands. They are forced into it, right? Whether it's the University of Cumberland, or there's a couple dozen names which are very popular in this field, Cumberland's being the most popular. If you're going for a Day-1 CPT, you're generally doing it because you could not secure the H-1B. I'm sure you would know about this, and hence you're considering this option, or you've gotten into this option. And this is not to say that you're going to get many advantages out of it. I'm going to talk to you about how this is the worst investment, but generally you're forced into it, and hence I wouldn't say it's a good or bad decision.
Okay.
It's just a decision made when people think this is the only pathway possible to stay in the US.
Yeah, because essentially you'll be able to work, right, during your Day-1 CPT.
Yeah, absolutely. So the concept of Day-1 CPT is that the day you start your studies, essentially from day one itself, you are allowed to work and study at the same time. And hence, certain universities make it easy, but there are many, many cons.
Yeah, but because it does sound very attractive, working and studying, that's essentially what everyone wants.
Yeah, but this is a concept that is only available to people who have already been in the US for more than a year.
Okay.
All right. Now, let me talk about the cons over here. Number one, and this is the major one, is that there's no return on investment. Absolutely zero return on investment. The only return on investment is that you get to stay in the US. But understand this, you are stuck. That's what you are. You don't get the H-1B, you don't get the O-1, you don't get the EB-1, you're just stuck in the pipeline. You're still waiting to, apply for the H-1B again and again. And, along with that, you're doing studies on your weekends and weekdays you're working. So you've just bought time, essentially. You're not really doing anything else. There's more cons. So number two con for me is that there's no OPT this time. Simply because, usually this is a second master people do, and even if not, they would have exhausted the complete CPT, which makes you ineligible for your OPT. That means that during your studies, you can work on the CPT, but after the degree, again, if you still don't get the H-1B, at that point, these kids are again thinking, should I, at this point, maybe go for a PhD now? What should I do? So some people just, drop out. They just move back to their home country. They're like, no, I don't want to run in this rat race. But that's just it. That's another con right there.
Okay. How about the USCIS? Is there no scrutiny?
So it is very well legal to do this, but this is somewhere in the gray area as per me. There are visa and immigration risks involved for any of you guys who are considering Day-1 CPT.
So what are these kind of risks?
See, it is legal to do this. But with that said, the kind of risks are that USCIS sees in your future petitions, when you petition in future for any sort of a visa, right? The purpose of an F1 visa is to study on it. It is not to work. So you are diverting from that pathway where you should be studying, but then you divert it, you start working from day one itself. You might already have a job and you're just working for the same employer that's supporting you. But that's important. Your future petitions are seriously impacted by this Day-1 CPT because it appears to USCIS that you're just trying to do anything possible to settle down in the US.
Okay, all right. So your intent to study is not really shown properly within.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So your future H-1B or green card applications might be impacted, but even more than that, even more important to me personally is your credibility. You are studying on a Day-1 CPT. This thing, University of Cumberland or whatever university there is, it's a fairly low ranked university. It's not a good ranked university. It's badly ranked. Let's be honest about it. Let's call apples apples and oranges oranges. It's not a great university to be in. Yet, if you're going for this university, it's going to add up on your resume somewhere, right? And you can say that, no, I won't add this to my resume. I was working at Oracle. Let's say I'm going to keep Oracle over there. But at the end of the day, there is proof that you studied over there.
Yeah, fair enough. So we can conclude that the Day-1 CPT may not be the best alternative. So what are other alternatives to that?
So to me, one of the best alternative would be, and this is not going to Canada and continuing to work for the same employer. And I'm talking about the O1 visa over here. See, the thing with the H-1B, the main problem is what? That there's a cap. And because of this cap that, set number of visas are there every year, there's a lottery. And the lottery is not skill-based. The lottery is based on pure luck. It's random. So the better thing over here is to go for, let's say, a skill-based visa. And O1 is exactly that. It's a skill-based visa. It allows you to actually stay in the country based on your ability. If you believe you are extraordinary. And trust me, any of you guys in IT, finance, medicine, it's easy to prove that you are extraordinary. And I'm going to be telling you how. You can actually go ahead for this O1 visa. You get this for 3 years. After that, there's unlimited extensions. You can stay as long as you want. And during this period, you can apply for a green card, right? And the best part is that the requirements for the O1 visa and the EB1A green card, which is basically the shortest pathway to the green card. You get it in the 1 to 2 years instead of waiting for 15, 20 years. The requirements of both these visa types are the exact same. So to me, it's a no-brainer that you want to shift to this visa, right? There are things I will talk about. There are complications. But if you get this, I think that's much better an investment and you move forward from your F1 instead of staying on that F1 and just maintaining status.
Fair enough. That sounds very beneficial because you're essentially working in the United States on a work visa.
Exactly.
So you're showing your intent properly as well.
And you're moving towards a green card.
That's even better.
Yeah.
So you were mentioning that you have to be extraordinary, right? So what would be the eligibility criteria?
So in order to prove your extraordinary worth, whether it's the EB1A green card or the O1 visa, some of these conditions on your screen have to be met at this point. Out of these 8 conditions, especially for the O1, you want to prove some of these. You need at least 3 to be able to qualify and get this visa. But of course, when we're petitioning, we want to apply with as many as possible. 4, 5, 6 we try to prove over there.
Fair enough.
Now, the good thing is that we've done this for people who actually did not qualify for even 1. And that's very normal. That's completely okay. So just with some research papers under your name, you can actually show credibility. And some of these 5 pointers that I've tick marked in front of your screen right now, these 5 can be proven with just some research papers. It is insane how much you can do if you are contributing to the research in your field. And even that is not difficult. If you don't know how to research, there's quite some resources. You can take a look at our discussion space for completely free. You can basically collaborate with other people over there and create your own research work and then publish it and everything. And it's a slow process over there, and people might not be very committed. So if you want to work on a premium basis, you can come to me, you can WhatsApp me, or what you can do is you can go onto our research groups page and create a group over there. Or from there, basically, you can get help in publishing. And over there, all the papers are done with the help of PhD partners who assist you, who guide you, right? And with that said, you make it to some of the topmost Scopus Index, IEEE, Springer, top-level journals essentially, which have a good impact factor, which have value, which can be used in this O1 process and have been used for dozens of people in situations like yours.
What I've also seen is that a lot of people that are pursuing their studies also use research papers to increase their chances of funding, increase their chances of getting into the universities. And with that, they can later on also use that for their green card and O1 petition as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you're going for PhD, master's, you get better quality admits, better quality scholarships. And of course, they can be used with O1, EB1, both of them. Whatever we do for the O1 today, we'll directly use that in EB1 petition as well.
Yeah.
There is one slight complication. The O1 visa is, of course, a non-immigrant visa, just like the H1B. So you do need a sponsoring organization. But if your organization sponsors you, that's great, of course. That's the #1 priority. But if it doesn't, let's say that they say, hey, we can't really do that. That's completely okay. You can even set up your own company. It's called the entrepreneur route. And then you can be a single, now almost 70% of the companies in the US are single person companies essentially. So you open up your own company and you show yourself as an employee of that company and you get the O1 visa through your own company. And from there, you can continue to work with your past employer, whether it's Oracle, Microsoft, whatever, or you can find a new employer as well. Whatever you want, basically, that is possible under this visa. You can even work with multiple employers.
That's great. So do you also help with the formulating of the company?
Formulating of the company, the petitioning, everything. And these are the success rates on your screen right now. They go beyond 90% at this stage. So in most cases, unless of course it's an exceptional case, you would see an approval in a very short time. And as long as, of course, the profile building time you have in your hands basically takes sometimes between 4 to 6 months in many cases. After that, if you go for this, you're golden. You are on the path to a green card.
All right, everything looks good. How can I get started?
So if you want to start with the O1 visa or you want to discuss your case, the first thing to do is you reach out to me on WhatsApp, where we'll discuss a little bit more about your case and help you understand essentially whether you are possibly eligible to move forward with this scheme of the O1 visa. If yes, absolutely, we'll be able to help you with the publications, citations. We'll walk you through the entire process, building up your profile and then the petitioning as well, end to end till you get the visa in your hands, even with the EB1 after that. Now, all of that will be, of course, possible when you reach out because, case by case basis, things differ a little bit. But with that said, We'd love to have you on board. We'd love to discuss a little bit better as to how you can avoid this investment of Day-1 CPT, which to me, it's almost the worst investment you can make. Say in the US, there's much better pathways that you should know of. Share this with the people who need to know. Subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram for more such content. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care until then.